am the podcast that flaps in the night. I am the episode teaser that promises more magic than you bargained for. I am DLWeekly.
Well, hello, Weekly Tears. We are coming to you from Buena Vista Street. We're actually sitting out in front of Elias and Company. David from Fresh Bake just literally walked by, and we tried not to get too excited and say hi and distract ourselves more than normal amounts. We've got the Headless Horseman galloping on past. So yeah, we're really enjoying our day today.
It's a little warm. It's 85 out and sunny, but in the shade it's been pretty nice. We have a nice bench on Buena Vista Street in the shade, which should be nice. James and Vern are riding Guardians of the Galaxy while we record because they wanted to do something that we don't like to do that often. So they went off and did that, which is why they are not here at the moment. But yeah, this is day 2 of our trip. It's been fun so far.
Like 2.5. So we got here on Saturday, and we're sitting here. It's now Monday. We're really lucky. We got to come in pretty early, and we flew into Santa Ana this trip, which is always just a treat. But we didn't have any park reservations or park tickets for Saturday, so we kind of did some things outside of the Disney bubble, which we don't always get to do.
Yeah, so we have some other stuff we'll talk to you about on future episodes, but we got a rental car this time because we needed to drive away from the Disneyland Resort, and we thought it would work out. We also stayed a little bit further away from the Disneyland Resort than we normally do. We're still in the resort bubble, if you will, but we're just a little further out. But yeah, so we got to, we ate at Blaze, which we always do.
Yes.
But we also got to go to the Anaheim Packing District. This episode's going to be really food heavy, I feel, because we've done a lot of food so far.
That was such a neat experience. So the Anaheim Packing House is not too terribly far from Disneyland. It's probably, I don't know, what would you say, 5-10 minute drive?
5-minute drive, yeah.
A little bit further of a walk, but as far as, if you get a ride share or have a car, really close by. The worst, quote unquote, worst part about it was trying to find parking, but that was also probably because we were there on a Saturday night. So it's a very popular place. Very fun though. I kind of am sad that we haven't gone over and explored it because there's so many different options. It's basically this old space that back in the day was used, I want to say, for citrus packing, and it's been transformed, and now it's this, I don't know, food hall, I guess would be a good way of saying it. But how they have it set up is just so cool because it's this big atrium with this big open space, tons and tons of different food stalls. You can probably find just about anything that you're craving.
Like a performance stage. There was some people playing some music there when we were there. So 2 floors in the main building, there's 2 floors of, like a food hall, like Teresa said, kind of like if you've been to a mall, like a food court. Better than that. None of these are chains. They're all locally owned kind of businesses. Lots of variety, which is really awesome. If you get outside the main building there's also a couple restaurants kind of adjacent that are also part of this kind of area. I want to mention too about the parking. They have valet there for $9 if you pay cash or $10 if you pay card. And we decided for the amount of time we were driving around trying to find a car, it was totally worth it to just pay the valet and not have to worry about driving around. Because we did look around. There's limited parking. If you're going to go and eat there and stuff like that, just the valet just makes it really convenient. But what did you have?
I ate at the Mediterranean place and probably had one of the least, it wasn't anything new to me. So I didn't go too far out of my comfort zone, but it just sounded really good when we went past it. I had a gyro and it was very delicious.
Well, you got to remember too, for our listeners, we live in the Midwest, so the gyros we get aren't bad, but they're not necessarily super authentic or anything special. I ended up having something there was a sushi place that also did ramen, and I was kind of going back and forth between what I wanted to do there, but I just ended up doing some sushi that was really good. James ended up getting a chicken burger or something.
Nope. So James got an Indian.
Indian.
Yep.
That's right.
Indian.
Yeah, so he got an Indian rice.
A
curry thing that he thought was really good. And Vern
was very excited. He got a falafel at the Mediterranean place.
Veggie falafel. Yeah. Which falafel, I guess, is veggie,
yes,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't do
That's okay,
that,
but like
that often.
we got, I don't know, Vern and I got some sort of like fresh strawberry juice that they had just made that day at the stand. It was delicious. I don't think there's a bad option when you go into that place, and it was actually a little overwhelming to try and pick what we wanted and where we wanted it from, because everything looked and sounded amazing.
Yeah.
If I lived closer by, I was talking about this when we were there, I'm like, I would totally come here once a week, once a month, whatever, and just kind of eat my way through the entire area, because it all looked and smelled so delicious. Pricing wise too was not crazy. It was pretty reasonably priced too.
Also, the area around there, well, first of all, the place you went to had a bunch of drinks, right? Like, you were sampling a bunch of the things that they had, right? Like, they had quite a variety of, like, fresh lemonades,
they had like
or something.
They had just two. There was one that was like a lemon mint, and then the strawberry one that we got.
Okay. But also, the area around there was really walkable. Like, we were there kind of later at night, but right down the street, there was kind of like a promenade that you could walk down that was really well lit up, nice. When we were there, I think it's kind of meant more for, like normal business hours, and we were there a little bit later, so a lot of things were kind of closed there. But it was a really nice kind of walk. The weather was beautiful, so we just kind of enjoyed letting our stuff digest and kind of seeing a different area of Anaheim that we haven't seen before.
Have to stretch our legs a little bit, too. So then after that, one of the things that I really wanted to do that, again, is pretty close to the Disneyland Resort, but if, depending on where you're staying, maybe isn't like super close or walkable, but Joe's Italian Ice. It's this Italian ice stand that is, I think, pretty famous locally, and I've heard nothing but good things. And every time that we just happen to like be driving past or going past, it's just like
huge line.
Well, huge line, or like it's just not the right time for us to be stopping. We're in the midst of going from here to there, and it's like, oh, we got, it's been one of those, oh, we got to stop there sometime. So I was like, we're stopping. This time we are going to do it.
But also because it always looks really busy. But you had heard from some people that the line moves fast, and that's exactly what happened to us. We were thinking we were going to have time to look. They have quite a few options on the menu, and not just Italian ice, but they have some like more ice cream kind of concoctions and stuff. And so we were, of course, typical, trying to figure out like, well, what do we want? Because all this kind of sounds good. And the line moved so fast, it was kind of like, and we're here. But you said your person, because James and I went to one window and you went to a different window with Vern, and your person was like, oh, like, she gave a recommendation.
She did a great job. We let her know, hey, it's our first time, everything sounds delicious, so what's your favorites? What do you recommend? That sort of thing. Vern got I think it was a wild cherry, and we did the gelatis, which was the vanilla soft serve with Italian ice, and then topped with vanilla soft serve. And then they had some Italian ices that were like dairy based, so they were very creamy, and it was like a hazelnut chip or hazelnut crunch or something like that. That was what she said, that one was her favorite, so I tried it, and it was very, very delicious. I understand the hype. I understand why that place is as busy and popular as it is. We were there like in the evening, and it was cooler. It was still delicious and hit the spot, but we were all saying, could you imagine like warm summer evening or like warm summer day, and this would be so delicious and so refreshing and like amazing. So
when we were here in July and it was super hot, it would have been great to have it for sure. James got like a sour blueberry or something like that, and he thought it was really good. Turned his mouth blue, which was funny. And I got the strawberry one. And what I was surprised is I kind of expected, I've never had Italian ice before, and I expected it to be kind of like an icy, or not an icy, but like a, what is it called where they have the ice?
Like a snow
cone, like a snow cone. And that's what I expected it to be like, but this was like, it was like the ice was made out of the strawberry puree stuff instead of being like something you pour over it. And I thought it was really, really good, and it didn't melt very fast. Like, we ended up going back to the car, and since I was driving, I didn't have an opportunity to eat it as fast as everybody else. And by the time we got back to our hotel room, it was still frozen enough that, like, I don't know. It was
still
very
pretty
good.
Solid. It wasn't
very
just
good.
Like a juicy mess.
Yeah. Pro tip, by the way, it's hard to find parking around there. So I recommend if you can walk over to it is probably like optimal, or take a ride share, or if you do rent a car, like just try your best to find something around there, because it's challenging.
There's all sorts of stuff, but just do it though. If you've been thinking about doing it, do it. Highly recommend.
Definitely.
So the other thing that we did too on Sundays, we spent a little bit of time just kind of in downtown Disney, checking out some of the new shops. We stopped at Nectar Life, which none of us had been there before. That's of course the new like soap and body.
This was a whole experience.
Lotion and scrub place. Yes, it's a great way to say it. It was an experience, which it was a wonderful experience.
It was.
But they have like these sinks that are there, and they have you try a bunch of their products, which was I think that was a great sales technique because all of us were like, ooh, this was like, we each had our favorites and things we wanted to take home with us. Unfortunately, nothing that they sell is like travel size approved, so we weren't able to purchase anything to bring home with us.
Yeah, we didn't have check bags. You could probably put it in a check bag.
It was a really fun experience though, but it is an experience. The other thing that we thought was we were all commenting, and even the like lady that was helping us from Nectar Life was like, isn't that amazing? They have these like built-in sinks so that you're like washing your hands to use all these different scrubs and potions and such. And the water temperature.
Oh, it was beautiful.
It was perfect.
I was like, I wish my sink at home was like always this temperature. Yeah, it was kind of interesting because we were just kind of browsing like you do. And she came up to us and was like, why don't you guys come over here real quick?
She's like, have you ever been here before?
Yeah, she grabbed us. She grabbed a mother-daughter, I think, was there. And just kind of was like, here, experience all this stuff. I felt it was really, like, she wasn't, like, trying to, like, pressure us and anything.
No, not at all.
It was just kind of like, here, you don't have any experience with our products. Let me show you what the wide variety of things were. There were scrubs. There was, like, a whipped something or other. There was lotion. Yeah. There was a really cool something you'd put in the bathtub that was, like, foamy that got poured over and made your hands feel very silky smooth. It was really cool. And then when we were done, like, she asked us what we liked. She showed us where we could find it. And then, like, that was it. Like, and we just left. Like, we didn't feel pressured, like, here, you need to buy all this stuff.
It was like a tour of the different products. It was lovely.
I really would have bought some of the stuff if we could have
We're going to have to maybe check and see if we can order it online or something. So, next to Nectar Life, this was all new for me. Tage and James had experienced this when they were here, I think with one of the exchange students, you said. But we then checked out the newer D-Lander shop and then the newer Avengers Reserve shops there. Very, very fun. Very well themed. I really liked the D-Lander shop. That could be a very dangerous place for someone like me. Lots of cute, lots of very fun stuff. And the thing that was cool is there was stuff in there now that we've been in the parks that you could also find in the park. So I like when they don't like keep stuff behind the turnstiles necessarily. Sure. So that if there's something that you're interested in, you don't have to then have a park ticket to be able to go and purchase it.
In case you're wondering, the Five and Dime just started their set. So you're going to hear that in the background for a little bit. Just in case you're wondering, what is that beautiful music in the background? We actually watched them a little bit earlier today because Vern loves the live entertainment, so we've been trying to hit up as much of that as possible as well. So what did you think of D-Lander and the Marvel shop?
I really liked both of them. The Marvel shop's just not my thing because Marvel's not my thing.
Sure.
But I appreciate that it has its own like dedicated store. And I also like, especially for the, remember when we had the giant Marvel shop here that really was real estate that could be used for better other things?
Like an attraction or something.
So I do like that they've got like the Star Wars Trading Post and now the Avengers Reserve shop in downtown Disney so that you can still get some of those park things outside of the park.
They did have a really cool item that I hadn't seen before in there, and it was the arc reactor. And not only did it have a display, which was really cool, I thought it was just like something you get to display, but it actually had a magnet. You could take it off and put it on your clothes and wear it around like you were wearing the arc reactor, and I was like, I'm tempted.
It's a display piece and a costume item all in one.
But so pretty cool.
Still very fun, yeah. Well, so let's fast forward because you all have been to downtown Disney. You know all the amazing fun shops down and around there.
Busy, by the way. It was also busy that day.
Busy, but it was also a Saturday night, so you've got that too. So then yesterday was our first full park day, and it was all Disneyland all day. So something that's been really interesting. I don't know if we've made this podcast official, but if we haven't, we are now. Tage and I actually decided at the end of this last Magic Key year that we didn't use them enough last time, so we actually let them lapse. So this has been a unique and different experience for us because we're ticketed guests this time. Yeah. And actually, Tage, James, and Vern we're single day ticket park guests. So
Yeah, not park hopping.
yeah, so it's been a very different experience. And Tage and I have been lamenting because there's been a lot of Magic Key specific merchandise that of course is catching our eye, and we're like, dang it!
Well,
but,
the good news is we have friends that are Magic Key holders that we're going to meet up with later in the week. And so hopefully it's going to be we're going to bat our eyes and wink and be like, could you buy this for us?
Please.
But it has been interesting because we've had to choose wisely of like how many days do we want to be in what park, what entertainment is going to be there. Because like this week, technically, even though it's right before Halloween, this is kind of like an off-season week. So the parks close a little bit earlier. There's less entertainment. Like last night, there was no Phantasmic, which for a Sunday night, I was surprised. They still had fireworks. They had the Halloween Screams projections and fireworks. But like tonight, if we were at Disneyland, would only be the projections. There was also Paint the Night. So all of those things are still going. It's just like Phantasmic wasn't, depending on if you want the fireworks. And then like tonight, we have to figure out if we want to do World of Color. Because the park, DCA tonight closes at 9, with World of Color starting at 9, and Disneyland closes at 11. So, but yeah, so it's been a dynamic that Teresa and I have not had to ever work with in these constructs in the last few years, because we always, if we didn't have our keys, we always had park hoppers. So it's kind of interesting of trying to enjoy a park and not be tempted to hop because we can't.
How have you felt? Like, okay, so let's talk about that real quick. How have you felt? Have you felt like that you're missing it, or are you still very satisfied?
I don't think I'm missing it. What I will say is what I think I and this is my opinion. I think this is different for everybody. But for me, like, I could come here for 5 days and just do Disneyland because that's what I grew up with, and so it doesn't feel like I'm missing something. Like I told you earlier today, we were kind of we've been very chill this trip, which I think all of us have appreciated. Like, we're not thing, like we're not trying to rush around really. But I kind of was like, I don't know, I feel like DCA for me is still like a half day, especially with the crowds. Like it hasn't been, I mean, now it's a little bit busier, but earlier it was calmer. But no, I haven't felt like, I guess we'll find out later, because 2 days in, I don't feel like we've had anything. But as the week goes on, like I feel like there might be a situation where it's like, oh man, I wish we could be in DCA for this one thing, or we're hungry and like that sounds good, but really I just want to go get the one meal over there or whatever. What about you?
That has been interesting because, right, with our food list, we're having to be more like intentional and even more planned out about what we're eating and what days we're doing it, and then kind of having to prioritize stuff too, because we're still, right now, we have majority of our days are Disneyland days, and we really just have one full day at DCA in addition to Oogie Boogie Bash, which just has the mix-in, which, as we all know, you can't get much done during that mix-in time because it's kind of chaos with all the party guests plus all the day guests kind of all together. So it'll be interesting. But I feel like today we've gotten through a lot of the attractions already, which is good. We haven't done Midway Mania
and Animation Academy.
We haven't done Cars Land either. Now that I just said all that, so we'll have to make sure we prioritize that this evening.
But the other thing that's been nice this trip for us has been we've been trying to eat at places we don't normally eat at. So like we did smoke jumpers for breakfast, which we don't normally do. We kind of forget about smoke jumpers. I did the one thing at Award Wieners that's like a snack.
Yeah.
And then we ate at the, what's that place called over by Paradise
we eat
Garden?
at Paradise Garden Grill all the time.
But they always have different stuff. So it's not like, it's almost like a different restaurant every time.
Yeah. But there's a couple other things on our list that we're trying to like intentionally eat off the beaten path, if you will, because we're creatures of habit. Unless it's like something specific, like a holiday time menu or a seasonal item, we do a lot of the same stuff. So we're trying to do a couple different things this trip.
I feel like in general you're much better on our normal trips of prioritizing like the list you've made.
Oh yeah.
Where I feel like I'm more a creature of habit than you are. Of like, I'm like, well, I want my churro or I want my Bengal barbecue, and like I'll stay with the comfort food over like the unknown.
Well, but then we also have times when it's been lots of different seasonal menus back to back to back, so then we don't get to have our favorites for several trips. So then we have to kind of go revisit those favorites again too. One
thing I am missing this trip is because it's the Halloween time, they don't have a lot of the 70th menu, which I kind of wanted to have some of those things again. But I assume when Christmas and everything's over with that those things will maybe come back.
They might, yeah.
But then we're going into Lunar New Year, then we're going, and we don't know what the schedule next year is going to be.
There's a shortage of delicious food in the Disneyland resort.
True.
That's for sure. We're very thankful for that. So, but like our whole Disneyland day, that's the other thing too, we did a really good job with getting attractions and stuff done in Disneyland yesterday, to the point that it's like, oh, we still, like, this was only day one, and we got a lot of stuff checked off the list, which was great.
And that was with a meetup in the middle of it yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, we were gone for 3 hours out of the park for 2 for the meetup, and then we kind of moseyed.
Yeah, we did an accidental good job. So to me, yesterday was like a lot of like go, 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 but like it's always like that the first day, right? Because you're running on excitement. Whereas today's been a little bit more like, more chill time, more sit and enjoy shows and whatnot time.
Absolutely, which was good because we've seen things that we haven't seen before. We went in. You had never even been in the Disney Junior Theater in Hollywoodland, and neither had Vern or James. I was the only one that had been in there before, not for this show, but it was a good show. It was cute. It was short, but it was cute.
Yeah, so today, while we're in DCA, we went to see the Mickey's Trick and Treat show, which was very cute.
It was.
And super fun. I can see, like, it was fun as an adult. I can see how it would be a really good show for, like, littles. Especially because they, like, could get up and dance. Everybody's sitting on the floor, so everybody had a good, like, view of what was going on. So it was really fun. Like, live vocals, lots of characters.
You got free Skittles at the end.
Yeah, you got to trick or treat at the end, too, which was also very fun. Fun little added, like, bonus, but the space and the show was just really cute and well done.
Yeah, because we've done that for entertainment. We've done that. We did the Five and Dime earlier. We did the Coco show.
Yep,
the
little
street show
that's over in Paradise Garden. Well, just outside of Paradise Garden Park, by like the Goofy Sky School entrance. And then while we were enjoying our lunch at Paradise Garden Grill, we also watched the mariachi band perform on the stage back there. So we've been able to get a lot of good. DCA does have a lot of good like ambiance entertainment and like live kind of just stumble upon things. Not necessarily, I mean, we went to the scheduled show for Mickey's Trick or Treat, but the other stuff is kind of just like atmosphere stuff. It's really, really fun.
Yeah, it's like over at Disneyland with like the Dapper Dance and stuff, but like it feels like they have more frequent over here for
either that or we just have better timing over here. Something. I don't know what it is exactly, but I'm here for it. I like it.
A couple things that I want to point out that like I feel like we learned this trip that like we had not known before. I think we were talking about it this morning. We came for rope drop, and we wanted to ride Soarin' first because it was right next to where we wanted to do our breakfast. And I thought that the rope drop was like right going into the airfield, but it's past Soarin'.
I really thought that you could get to like smoke jumpers, but that was about as far as you could get. So that was pretty surprising. So we got to queue up for Soarin' before rope drop, which was interesting.
We literally rope dropped Soarin'.
That's where the rope was. It was at Soarin'.
We were smart and took the monorail to our meetup, which I feel like we would just normally walk through downtown Disney out of habit.
I need to tell all of you a really funny story. So we're on the monorail going to the meetup, and we get to the downtown Disney stop, and I had to like remind Tage that we needed to get off because we just ride the monorail as like an attraction basically. So we just do the loop, get on at Tomorrowland, get off at Tomorrowland, and that's it. So Tage was kind of sitting there like waiting, like as they're telling everyone, okay, we're at the downtown Disney stop, you can get off now. And Tage's just like, doo-doo-doo. I'm like, Tage.
Well, somebody was like, are you getting off? Yeah. Because I think I was at the end of the bench or something and had to go first.
Yeah, you were.
And I was like, what do you mean? Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
So that was fun.
Which I'm going to go backwards a little bit in time. The other thing we did before the meetup is we all ate at Parkside Market, which was a first for all of us. It was very delicious.
You didn't go back in time. That's actually going forward from the monorail.
But we jumped back to DCA. Sure. We've been talking about DCA too, so we're going back to that.
Fresh.
Yeah, it's because we're physically still here. But that was really good. I had I think 3 of us all had different bowls from Soul Sister. Vern had the tofu, which I'm not usually, put it this way, I've never had tofu prepared well, so I just have never thought I was a tofu fan. This was delicious because it was like a crispy fried tofu. The texture was really nice. The flavors were all really good. Really, really good. I had the beef bowl. Delicious.
We both had the beef bowl.
The beef was so well, like, I don't know, marinated, and it was so tender.
It was.
Oh.
It wasn't
recommend.
fatty or anything.
No.
The kimchi, now I'm not a spice person. There was kimchi in the bowl as well. And it was just about the level of spice for me, so that worked out well. The sauce that you put on it was so good too. I also got the dumplings, the fried dumplings that they had there. Those were very good as well. I think for $8 we got 6 of them, which I thought was a really good value.
A crazy good deal because they were generously sized dumplings. They weren't little like one bite and you were done.
The upstairs patio was closed, but we were able to sit in like the bar area that was open to the Downtown Disney Live area. That was really nice. I know I just skipped over the fact that James had the chicken sandwich from Gigi's Chicken or whatever.
And he really liked his chicken sandwich.
He did.
And he had like the little like corn bowl, which was like an elote.
Yeah,
corn.
He said that was really good. I took a bite of that.
Was it?
Yeah, it was really good. It reminds me the one time we were able to eat at Tortilla Joe's, that like walk-up counter, and we got the corn, and it was so good, and then it closed.
Yeah.
It was like that.
I do miss that. That was a good spot to eat at.
Well, now
Speaking of elote,
nothing.
we're just going to hop forward in time now and talk about DCA because we tried the fried elote. I'm going to say right now mistakes were made.
Oh.
It was delicious, but my oh my, is that a difficult thing to try and eat.
It's like double the size of a normal, which is already a large corn dog.
Yeah.
And it was very difficult to eat. Teresa, I will say, I don't even think Vern took he did.
He did.
Teresa and Vern were the all-stars because they were the only ones that picked it up and tried to eat it.
Yeah.
And James and I were like fork and knifing it.
It did not end well, but I'm like, I just don't feel like I'm going to get all the flavors if I did. But I definitely didn't get all the flavors, so all I got was breading when I picked it up. But
I will say
very, very good though.
They had a chili. Wait, no, what was it? The sauce that was on it was really spicy. It was like past the level of spice for me.
Yeah.
But it was fine for you and James and Vern.
Yep.
It was a good sauce. It was just spicy. For those people who might be spice wusses like I am.
Spice wusses.
But it's not over everything.
You can start a club, the Spice Wuss Club.
Yeah. And it's not over everything, so you can either ask for them not to put it on, or you can also just turn it over and the other side doesn't have any sauce on it. And it's definitely not a do-it-yourself. It's a share.
Or it's a meal.
I think even for a meal, that's a lot of food, but maybe.
It was good. Difficult to eat, but very tasty. I'm glad that we got to try it.
What else did we eat around that time?
Vern got the plant-based carne asada burrito. That was a wet burrito at the Paradise Garden Grill. I got the peanut butter cup cold brew. That's over at the Cappuccino Cart. Vern had also gotten a cold brew at the Cappuccino Cart. And then what did you guys get from Paradise Garden Grill?
James got the
like street tacos.
He got the street tacos, which were the El Pastor. They were really good. I just had one of the tacos because I was trying to eat some of the elote thing there. But yeah, it was good. What was your cold brew rating?
Oh, I haven't even gone through all the different cold brews that I've had.
Well, the one you just talked about. What did you think of that one?
I've had that one before. That's a repeat. It's a solid 4. This one wasn't as good as the first time I had gotten it, but it's still very good. It's
out of 5.
4 out of 5. It's not a very coffee heavy flavored drink, if that makes sense. So if you're looking for like a lightly, like this is a drink that had coffee kind of like a hint. It's more of a like dessert, but with a hint of coffee. That's what this is. It almost has feels like a milkshake or something because it's kind of like a nice, good, creamy texture. Sweet with coffee. I don't think it's overly sweet. Other people may, especially if you're a black coffee person. It's definitely going to be too sweet for you. But I really enjoyed it. The other one that I had today was over for breakfast when we were at Smoke Jumpers was the Bear Paw Basin cold brew. That one was interesting. That was a much more, if you are a more black coffee, you want coffee flavored coffee person, this was a great one. I really enjoyed it. I am probably a unique one when it comes to cold brews because I like kind of the gambit of cold brews. Sure. I just have to be in the right mood for certain ones at the right time. So if especially the sweet ones, I need to know I'm getting myself into a sweet one before I do it, because if I think it's going to be very coffee and then it's very sweet, it kind of it throws me off, or vice versa. If I think it's going to be sweet and then it's very coffee heavy forward.
Well, you got to know what to pair it with, right? If you don't want to get something sweet with your really sweet coffee.
Right.
You know.
Right. Over in Disneyland, I tried, which both of these are going to sound very sweet, because they were. There was a pumpkin cold brew at Jolly Holiday. That was delicious. If you're a friend of pumpkin, highly recommend. And then the second one that I got was for dinner, I got what the heck was that one called? It was like the mint chip cold brew at Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree. That one, okay, it tasted exactly how it sounded, and I was not mad at it. It was literally a scoop of mint chocolate chip ice cream, which, by the way, is one of my favorite, I think it is my favorite flavor, and cold brew. And I just let it sit and melt so that I could mix it all together, and it tasted exactly like that, mint chocolate chip cold brew.
What an interesting idea for a cold brew.
It was so delicious. Did you try? I don't remember. Did you try some?
I didn't try it.
Oh, it was good.
I was trying to have because I had the corn ribs again, and I was kind of focused on that in my soda that I had. I didn't try a lot of your cold brews this time, just because I wasn't really in the mood for a possibility of a coffee flavor.
Yeah, I was gonna say they haven't been in me ooh, Tage should try maybe that mint chip one, because it was literally melted ice cream and coffee. But the other ones were probably a little bit too coffee flavored for your taste.
Well, I feel like the mint chip one is one of those that you kind of have to, you can't drink it right away. You got to wait till the mint dissolves into it a little bit more. Yeah. And you were saying it was pretty solid.
Yeah.
So
it was good. But I'm trying to go back and think, what did I rate? I rated the pumpkin cold brew, the pumpkin cream. I think it's a pumpkin cream cold brew from Jolly Holiday. That was a solid 4.5. Same with the mint chip cold brew, solid 4.5. I've decided I need to reserve 5s for the
life-changing.
Yes, life-changing. Where have you been all my life? I need this all the time.
Where did I have that pumpkin chai?
That was from Galactic Grill.
Okay, that was really good. If you're a fan of chai
and pumpkin,
perfect drink. I think that one's a 4.5 for me, because if you're trying to say 5 is life-changing, it's a good 4.5. I thought it was really good. I would drink it again. Now, I think that a 5 for me is the thing I always get over in San Francisco with the boba popping spheres. And then the frozen version that's over, or was at least over at Bengal Barbecue, there was the same thing, but a frosted version.
Yeah.
Those are 5s for me, because I will get those every time.
Yep.
I was trying to think. I thought I got another flavored drink somewhere. Maybe it was just that one that I got that was really stand out.
You got the sweet tea from Jolly Holiday, but you've had that a couple of times.
I've had that before. It wasn't as good this time.
No?
I felt like it wasn't as sweet as it had been before. And I don't know.
I do want to talk real quickly, since Jolly Holiday is what made me think of it. We're kind of experiencing some weird things here at the Disneyland Resort, specifically today, but yes, it kind of started yesterday too. So for the first time ever, through mobile order, we were at Jolly Holiday for breakfast. Tage and I both said we're here at the same time. Tage and James's stuff came out not super quick, but normal amount of time. And mine just was not flipping over, and I got to the point that I was like, what is going on? So then finally, you guys were basically done with your croissants that you had ordered. I closed completely out of the app, opened the app, and then it said, your mobile order has been canceled because you never picked it up. And it literally just always said we're preparing your order.
And it stayed on your phone the whole day.
And then that we're preparing your order. Please, check back later. Stayed on my phone the entire rest of the day. It was very strange. Thankfully, the very wonderful cast member, as soon as that happened, I'm and I jumped up and ran up to the mobile order window. I'm I am so sorry. I don't know what happened. And that cast member explained to me that has been happening. So, pro tip, if you're coming soon, just don't rely on the little lock screen version to see if it's actually, because apparently that's not always updating now. And then today things have been interesting, because Tage can talk about the
so today, as we're recording this, it started yesterday and it's kind of filtered in today. There's a big Amazon Web Services outage, which you're thinking, well, what does Amazon have to do with Disney? Well, Amazon Web Services runs a third of all internet everything, because they're just such a big player. And one of their big data centers basically had something go wrong. I don't know what all the details are, and I don't think most of you listening care. But Disney does operate some of its services with Amazon Web Services, so my understanding is some of the things that are happening today are related to this outage that is Amazon's fault. So it's not Disney's direct fault, it's their vendor that runs all their stuff.
So it's been interesting because there's been weird stuff with the app. The registers here in California Adventure, at least, since that's where we are, a lot of the cast members have been talking about how the registers have been very slow and very laggy. So it hasn't caused like any major issues, like the app's totally down or the registers are not working at all. It hasn't caused anything like that. It's just there's a couple of, actually the warnings have come off of the app, but nothing super impactful yet, but just kind of interesting and different.
And with the app, too, with the warning that Teresa was just referring to, I just went past the warning because they're like, some things may not work. And so I just went through it and it worked fine. So, I think they say that because they're like, just in case.
Just in case, yep.
Be aware, which would have been nice for you to have yesterday if that was what that was related to.
I'm curious if it's related or not. So. But today with our mobile orders, we've had nothing but, I don't know, blue skies and sunshine.
Yeah, no, it's been great.
It's been really good.
Yeah, even like we were talking earlier, our waits for stuff was not bad. Of course, we rope dropped Soren, which was fine. We went over, Teresa got the waffle thing she could talk about in a minute. James and Vern and I went on Guardians because it was only a 15-minute wait, and it was like basically spot on 15 minutes. And then we went over to the Incredicoaster, which had a 15-minute wait, and we got on in 10. So, I mean, stuff's been working in our favor today. Unfortunately, the things we really want to do, like we really want to do Toy Story Midway Mania and Radiator Springs Racers, but of course, those are like the two top attractions, so of course we haven't been lucky enough to find and Radiator Springs was down for a little while, so that also did not make things. But tell us about this waffle. I actually don't know, because we went on Guardians, I never got your full review.
That's true. So for breakfast, all the guys had different things over at Smoke Jumpers. Nothing on the menu was really speaking to me except for the cold brew. So I got that.
You should mention your confusion with plural, but you got one.
That's true. I did order a hash brown, is what it ended up being, but when I went to mobile order, it said hash browns, plural. It was not. It was one singular hash brown, which I would not recommend. It was good, but it was not worth the money, because for $1 more I could have had a whole big basket of the breakfast fries, which was a much bigger portion than my singular hash brown. So that was probably not going to hold me over very long. So I was like, I got to do something else, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. This is our only DCA morning. I need to go get the waffles, the ube waffles, the Ursula waffles are on my list. So I told the guys, I'm like, go ahead, because I don't want you guys to wait for me to get the waffles, to then eat the waffles, and then hope that the line is still not crazy. I'm like, just go ahead, it's fine. So
it's also not our favorite attraction. I went on to it because I was kind of like, well, I should do it.
I like, in general, it's because we've been so fortunate to get to come much more frequently than we had in, what do you call that? Pre-podcast life. We just get to come so often that I don't always feel the same,
urgency to get on an attraction.
Need and urgency to do attractions. I find myself spending more time just enjoying just being in the space,
the ambiance,
and the small things. So when they were doing that, I had to wait a little bit for my my window to be up. So I was looking at shops, and I was looking to see if I could find pins to trade and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, so the ube waffle, the Ursula waffle, it was interesting. It was dusted with I think it was an ube flavored powdered sugar. It was a dark chocolate waffle, and then it was also filled with an ube flavored cream. It was very messy. And I keep thinking, and maybe it's like a hit or miss since it's a little bit different. I keep thinking that I like ube, and then I'll get some ube things that I like, and then I get other ube things that I think, do I like ube? This one didn't leave a huge impression on me. It wasn't. I also didn't get any syrup or anything because I felt with the powdered sugar and the filling, I didn't need syrup. That sounded like the last thing it needed. It was all right. I'd probably give it a 3. But if you do get it, very messy. I felt ridiculous. I had the little cardboard boat that it came in, tucked up under my chin, because you'd bite into the waffle and cream would splurt out the other end kind of thing. In fact, if you ever are here in the mornings, I bet you could walk near Smooshies and see purple goo on the ground, and that's exactly what it is.
Is it similar to like when you go over by the mint julep bar and there's all the powdered sugar everywhere?
Not quite that bad, but yeah,
Okay.
there was evidence that other people had enjoyed the waffles as well. But it was good.
I stopped at Award Wieners and got there was like a fried Snickers bar, which I was concerned that this was going to be a lot.
Yeah.
And when she handed it to me, I was like, oh, this is smaller. It's kind of like not a king-size Snickers. It's like a regular-size Snickers bar.
Snicker.
And it's, fried like a corn dog or something would be. And I took a bite, and I couldn't quite make up my mind on that first bite, like whether I enjoyed it or not, because when you eat a Snickers normally, the chocolate coating is kind of like an outside crunch. Well, when it's in this, it's melted.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like it was not soggier, but it was like softer than I expected. So I was kind of like confused, like my mouth wasn't ready for that. But then I took a couple bites and I was like, I actually really like this, and the portion size was perfect because I think if you did more, it would be too sweet because the quantity would be too much.
Yeah.
But what did you think? You took a bite.
Yeah, I took a bite. I really enjoyed it. Snickers are one of my favorite candy bars, and I wasn't sure because the sound of it sounded like, oh, that's going to be too much. Like, it sounded like it was going to be really rich, being, in the batter and deep fried. But yeah, no, it wasn't bad. I don't know if I could have done a whole one, but I appreciated the bite that I did have. Like, for me, it would be something that I'd share with someone.
The other thing, just as a warning, James has a walnut allergy and a pecan allergy, and he wanted to try it, but there was a side of like whipped cream with like some Snickers pieces and like some nuts, and it looked like, we're fairly certain it was, but if somebody knows different, let us know, that there was some walnuts there. So if you do know somebody who has a walnut allergy, even though Snickers don't have walnuts, it looked to us like this had walnuts. So just be mindful of that.
Yeah.
I think is the only thing I would say. But it was good.
It was interesting, yeah.
I would give it like a 4 out of 5.
A 4 out of 5? There you go. Well, and didn't you say the woman, the cast member at the counter, like when you order it, she's like, I just can't stop eating these.
Yeah.
These are so good.
Well, and the lady that I picked up the corn thing from too, she was like, these are so popular.
Because it's one of those things, like, you just got to know, like, what a deep fried entire corn on the cob. That's
and a low take corn on the cob, yeah.
Oh, it was good.
It's crazy. It was very popular. Almost everybody, while I was waiting for my mobile order window to come up, almost everybody was leaving with one. And like I said, they were huge. So,
dang, now I really want a corn, I don't want one right now, but on this trip, that's something we haven't had for a while is corn dogs, and I really enjoy Disneyland corn dogs.
We should do one at the truck.
The red wagon?
Yeah.
We should. But anyways, so this is kind of interesting because it's just the first, our trip has only begun, and we have a lot of fun and exciting things planned that we get to do and experience the rest of this week. So you'll have to tune in for the rest of our adventures next week to hear more about them. Yeah, we have some cool stuff that we're going to talk about that's not like our normal Disney stuff. So, if you've heard us talk about our trip reports and stuff before, we're going to have all that, of course. Yes.
But we're also going to and Oogie Boogie Bash, we're going to talk to James and Vern and get their first-timers impression of this year's
They're both really
party.
Excited, though,
They are.
in general. We do have a group costume that we have come up with. Tags being included, even though whether he likes to be included or not.
Right. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I haven't decided exactly how included I want to be with this. But yeah, and we got, like I said, we got a couple things outside of the Disney parks that we'll talk a little bit about as well that I think will be really interesting and I think you'll enjoy. So I guess from Buena Vista Street, Disney California Adventure,
we're going to go out and enjoy the parks.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Hello, I am Baymax, your personal podcast companion. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this episode? My scans indicate you have been a good weekly tier. Have a lollipop. Now excuse me while I let out some air. Goodbye.